Hey guys, this is what Naruto had Ultra Instincts Part 2. On the last video, I believe Naruto fought Mitsuki because Mitsuki basically tricked Naruto, or he didn't really trick. Naruto already knew what was happening, but he still made Naruto get the scroll, the scroll that he did in the beginning. And so Naruto already knew what was happening, and he ended up just stealing it just so he can basically take it and master everything that's in the scroll without, really being blamed for it because he can just say that Mitsuki tricked him into doing it. And then, of course, Naruto ended up completely wrecking and defeating Mitsuki. So, yeah, this is the after part. The next day, he goes into class, and everybody's already heard of what Naruto has done, and like they're basically pretty surprised that he was able to take on a higher ranked ninja. And some of them are just like well they're surprised of course because it's a Genin taking on I think was he a Jonin or I forgot. It might have been a Jonin or Chunin or something. Either way, they're pretty surprised that he was able to take him on. And this is when the teams are announced, and of course the teams are going to be the same. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, all the teams are going to be the exact same. And you may be asking why, because you can see Naruto's, like more overpowered and stronger than Sasuke, and he's in basically first place of the whole entire class, while Sasuke's in second, so that wouldn't really make sense. I'm gonna say it's because they already know the chemistry between Sasuke and Naruto, and that they can see that they have a really strong bond, and that can be extremely useful during fights or during missions that they're able to trust each other so easily. And they did Sakura just because well I'm just gonna say they can tell she has pretty good chakra control, she's smart, she can help them out or something. And so yeah, it's gonna be them three. And of course Sakura at this point still doesn't like Naruto, but really like Sasuke. She's at the point where she doesn't really mind Naruto because he can she can tell that um Sasuke and Naruto are really good best friends, and that if she wants to get closer to Sasuke, she has to get closer to Naruto as well. And so she decides to be nicer to Naruto, and yeah. So at this point, they're all three of them are getting along, and all the team leaders have came for their teams except for Team 7, aka Kakashi, and now they're just waiting around talking. Eventually, Kakashi does come in, and um, what's called automatically, Kakashi can sense really strong, like a pressure coming from Naruto. It isn't, he can't really sense it 100%, but he can sense something coming out of him and like just the pressure from him. And he's wondering if anybody else could feel it and why nobody else is like, you know, feels wary about Naruto. And he just plays it off as, himself. And that's because Naruto, he's training himself on how to use God Ki or how to like activate his God Ki at will, kind of how Goku has to, how he has God Ki and he can use it in his base form, but in order to like truly activate God form, he has to, try and Naruto's trying to have it so he has God Ki, but he always has it activated. So he always is pouring out God Ki from himself, basically. And Kakashi, even though he doesn't have any God Ki, so he can't actually sense it, but he can just feel the pressure. So can everybody else, but they just kind of ignore it because it's only a small pressure, basically. And so yeah, and Sasuke has been training in normal Ki right now because, well, technically everybody has Ki. They just have to, try because I'm gonna say chakra and ki are technically different in this scenario. Ki is, how should I say it? Well, for now, I'm gonna make it, of course, in my opinion, ki is stronger than chakra for sure. But yeah, so Sasuke has been training and activating ki from Naruto and the old man because the old man did say that there's one way that he can activate ki, and if that's by training with Naruto in order to activate all and stuff. And so yeah, Sasuke has been training and using ki and stuff like that. And so Kakashi tells them to go to the rooftop to introduce themselves. And when they get to the rooftop, Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura are there, and Kakashi first he asked Naruto what his dreams are, and Naruto says his dream is to become the Hokage, the greatest ninja of all time, and to protect every single person in the Shinobi world, and also to be best friends with Sasuke. And what's called, and he asked what's his hates, and Naruto says his hates are people that don't believe in him, and stuff along the lines. Sasuke, he doesn't have the menacing speech about killing some, or he still has it, but he doesn't go serious for him. He says that his main goal is to one day kill somebody and avenge his clan, and also to become one of the strongest ninjas along with Naruto. And yeah, and Sakura kind of just says out loud that his or her goal is to be or to get along and someday be with a certain someone. She kind of like geeks out, but it isn't as bad. And she also said that she wants to be helpful for or to the team and be a strong ninja as well. And Kakashi says kind of basic ones, but still okay responses. And he tells them that um basically not to eat. That they're gonna have a test tomorrow because if they eat, they have a chance of throwing up and blah blah blah. And Naruto at this point is technically a perfect Jinchuriki because he has made friends with Kurama and what's called he has already unlocked the cage that Kurama was trapped in, and they trust each other now. They're just creating a much bigger bond. So at this point, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be able to use KCM 1 and KCM 2 because the Nine Tails can already lend him all like his power at will. So pretty soon, I'm gonna say he's gonna be able to use it. And so yeah, and technically the perfect Jinchuriki is can sense and feel deception. So I'm gonna say that Naruto was able to sense it and knows that Kakashi is lying about this, and and basically just wants to slow them down. So as soon as Kakashi leaves, Naruto tells Sakura and Sasuke that it's okay to eat, that he's basically lying, and they decide to trust him. And they go home in the morning. They wake up early, and they basically eat. And this time again, they're just waiting for Kakashi, and it's early in the or really early in the morning. They're just sitting here, and when Kakashi comes, he asks them why don't they look, or like in his head thinks, why don't they look tired at all? And it looks like they actually ate. They're full of energy. So he's kind of just like, huh, weird. And then he decides to start the bell test. And before, or yeah, they decide to start the bell test. And before that, of course, he tells them the rules, what they have to do. If one of them doesn't get it, they get sent back to the academy. Or like, the person who doesn't get it gets sent back to the academy. And so Naruto automatically, like, again, Naruto's pretty smart. Asura has taught him a lot at this point, what it means to be a ninja, how to become one, the knowledge needed. And so yeah, Naruto, and plus Naruto already, deception again. He can sense it, so he knows Kakashi's lying about the person going back to the academy, and he lied about the main goal. So Naruto thinks about it and thinks that maybe it's about teamwork. And so all of them scatter in different directions, but Naruto goes to every single one of them and tells, or first goes to Sasuke, and then they find Sakura, and Sakura, or then Naruto explains to them that this test is basically about teamwork. It's not like they're supposed to work together in order to pass the test, because if not, they're all gonna get sent back to the academy. That part's true, but they need to help each other get the bell, not just one. And what's called Sakura and Sasuke agree pretty easily, and then they start going to what's called they start all three of them start rushing Kakashi, and Kakashi kind of thinks to himself like this is their plan to rush all at the same time, and goes, well, I mean, it is, they are working together, so that's pretty good. And they start just basically fighting, and Naruto automatically uh puts in ultra instincts and is able to get out of it and in it at the same time. And he's been training a lot recently, as I said. I think I said this before, but yeah, he's trying to basically, while he's in Ultra Instincts, he's trying to move and attack while being on defense, and tries to you know let himself punch at the same time. The old man has told him that in order to master Ultra Instincts, he needs to let go of everything. He needs to pretend nothing around him matters except for that fight specifically. And so yeah, he starts fighting, and he also found out how to kind of put in jutsus at the same time while in Ultra Instincts, and he's able to do the multi shadow clone jutsu while dodging and while trying to attack, and he makes a whole bunch more shadow clones, and all of them start attacking Kakashi, and that's when somebody or while Kakashi's basically in a fight with like a whole bunch of Narutos, he realizes that all these Narutos, even though they're shadow clones, are dodging everything and attacking back, and uh, so Kakashi has to activate the Sharingan, which shocks Sasuke. But that's when all of a sudden Kakashi feels something on his, you know, like something as if it got lighter for like a second, and he goes to feel the bells and realizes somebody cut them off from really far away. It wasn't any of the Naruto clones, and that's when he uses his Sharingan, he he or he can see Sakura behind him, but that's when he realizes that the Sakura and Sasuke from before are just shadow clones and not the real, are just shadow clones that Naruto transformed into them to look like them, and they're not the real ones. And that's when Sasuke comes from the other side while Kakashi is distracted, does a fireball jutsu, destroying all the shadow clones, because I'm gonna say Naruto lets all of them get destroyed in order for it to hit Kakashi straight on, which hits Kakashi, and this time he's sent to the ground and they get the bells. And Kakashi's like really impressed with all of them that they're able to kind of outsmart Kakashi for being only I forgot what the first base was. Yeah, either way, for being low ranked ninjas. And so Kakashi would basically, tell them that they passed, that this whole entire test was based on teamwork, and would say that to get, you know, to get back together tomorrow in order to go on more missions, or to go on missions, and say, of course he says he passes and all that, and so they all go home, and Naruto falls asleep that day or that night, and he kind of wakes up in his mindscape, and he's with Asura and the old man. Asura tells Naruto like some news that he has for him. And Ashura goes, Naruto, there's something I need to tell you. And Naruto walks up to Ashura, and Ashura then says, Naruto, you know how I told you Sasuke, your friend, is basically the reincarnation of Indra, aka my brother. And I told you about our rivalry and the reason why we've reincarnated so many times. Am I right? And Naruto goes, yes, you have told me this a few times, and you mentioned Sasuke being the reincarnation once before. And Ashura would go, yes, and now you two have technically made peace already. Being so young, I can already tell Sasuke is not jealous of your power at all, and is actually thankful for you. And I realize that this technically has broken the reincarnation, so we are technically at peace now. This may make it so I disappear, but you will still have my chakra, and you will still have all the moves I taught you and given you. The only thing is I won't be able to talk to you anymore. And Naruto goes, wait, when, how, and when, or like when is this all gonna happen? And Asher says, I do not know when I'm gonna disappear. It may happen soon, or it may happen years from now. But just in case, always be expecting me to be gone every single time you enter your mindscape. And Naruto kind of gets sad by this because all his life he's basically known Ashura and has been thankful that he's been able to be taught by two extremely powerful people. And Ashura would say, well, at least even when I'm gone, the old man is still always going to be here, and he'll be able to teach you. I've already told him everything that I want to teach you, just in case. So if I go, he'll still be able to teach you even chakra, not only ki, also uh, chakra techniques. And Naruto says, "I understand. Thank you for telling me that way. I wouldn't be so shocked when it actually happened." And yeah, so then Naruto decides to do some more training, and the old man has been teaching Naruto on how to activate his God Ki. Because again, as I said earlier, Naruto has been trying to pull out his God Ki and have it activated at all times, at the point where it goes into his base form, where whenever he's just there, his God Ki is just kind of surrounding him at all times. But he also wants to know how to hide it so people don't feel the pressure from him. So he's trying to fully master it. And the old man lets him, or tells Naruto that there's a way that he can activate his God Ki from emotions, and that he can try that one out. And Naruto decided, and he thinks about things that would make him mad, and what's called he tries it, and automatically his ki it starts to glow and starts to activate all around him, and it's creating a red kind of glowy aura all around Naruto, and his hair even changes colors to a fiery kind of red. And then he tries a different emotion. He tries to, just relax and be happy and just pull it all out. And this one looks like how I imagine his normal form would be. It would be just all orangey, like just an orange aura, and his hair would stay the exact same color. Just kind of, you can see the power going up. It kind of looks like a Super Saiyan. When I'm talking about how their hair is yellow and Naruto's, hair is also going yellow. It kind of starts to stand up a bit and has that yellowy, orangey, mainly orangey aura all around Naruto. And so that's basically how Naruto looks when I'm going to say that he activates God Ki like normal. But whenever he's mad and tries to activate God Ki, it's going to be all fiery red. And so at this point, Naruto now knows. Because, again, when he's in his mindscape, even though it may be hours or like days in his mindscape, in real life, it'll only be like maybe like a few hours and stuff. So Naruto's kind of able to control time in his own mindscape at this point. And Ashura also teaches him how to master different chakra natures, and Naruto has been working on that as well. At this point, he has his normal wind chakra, because that's his natural one. I'm gonna give him at one point he's gonna have all five, but for now I'm gonna give him I think three. He's gonna have a you know uh what's it called, wind chakra, fire chakra, and water chakra for now. And he's gonna have the other two, but just slightly, just a little bit. He's gonna be able to actually do those. Like he's gonna be okay. Let me kind of rephrase that. He's gonna be able to do all five chakra nature moves, but some are just gonna be weaker than other. The strongest one he's gonna be able to use are wind chakra techniques, and the second ones, like the second strongest ones, he's gonna be use is fire techniques, and then water and lightning, and then earth. I think. Am I thinking of Avatar? No, I know it's something to do with like Earth, like Geo. Or I forgot. Either way, he's able to do most techniques from chakra. And so yeah, and Naruto wakes up and he's been doing this for a straight month. So he's been training, and he's also been doing missions with Team Seven or however long they do missions for. Either way, like around 2 months or not 2 months, like 2 weeks or a month or something until Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura finally asks Kakashi, when can we have a better mission, like one that's a higher ranked, like I think they're doing D ranked mission, so I'm gonna say they're gonna ask for a C ranked, something a bit more. And he goes to ask Kakashi. So then Kakashi would send in a request for a higher ranked mission, which the Hokage would accept and would give him the mission to escort a bridge builder by the name of Tazuna. And right when he says his name, remember Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are all with Kakashi right now, requesting for a higher mission. And Tazuna would walk in, and what was it called? The Kage would say, "Oh, speaking of the devil, here he is. This is Tazuna. This is the man that you're going to be escorting." and what's called I not Kakashi, sorry. Tazuna looks at all four of them, and he's about to like make fun of them, or except for Kakashi, he's about to make fun of Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto until he starts looking at Naruto, and all of a sudden he feels like almost like he's a baby looking at an adult. Like he just feels immense pressure when he looks at Naruto, and this pressure is kind of it feels scary to him. Like he can sense that it's chakra, but it's not chakra at the same time. He can sense that there's something else playing a part in it, and he's kind of confused. But in his head, he kind of goes, "The middle one, the one that's in the middle with blonde hair. He's dangerous, but I trust him for this mission now." And he doesn't say this out loud, but he just kind of keeps quiet. And yeah, so then everybody everybody decides to go get their like some things that they might need before they go into the mission. And Naruto would be the last one there, and Sasuke, Sakura, Tazuna, and Kakashi would all be just waiting at the gates. And Tazuna would still kind of feel wary about Naruto, and would kind of be confused about how Naruto acts because his chakra, or well, his chakra and his ki, but he doesn't know what ki is. It feels immensely strong, as if it's like almost evil. But the way Naruto acts is like a child would, exactly someone his age, like he would in canon. And so yeah, and then they'll leave the gates, and as soon as they leave the gates, Naruto would then out of nowhere feel um two chakra, like two chakra points, or not points, but chakra from two different people up ahead, and he can feel that there is malice behind it, and so he knows they're trying to attack Tazuna, and so he bumps Kakashi with his elbow and go, Kakashi, there's or Kakashi Sensei, there's two people up ahead that I can sense that they have malice. They're trying to attack Tazuna. Would you like me to take them out real quick so they're no problem? And Kakashi would say yes, but leave one or just leave one alive for interrogation. And Naruto says, I was already gonna do that, but will do. And what's God, he'd think and go, what should I use? And he'd go, oh, I, I have new techniques I've been wanting to try on people, but I just haven't had the chance because I'm scared I might hurt somebody. But now this is the perfect chance to use at least a few. And then Naruto would put his two fingers on his forehead, and he would close his eyes, and everybody would kind of start looking at him because I don't know, he just put two fingers on his, basically on his forehead. And Sasuke's about to say, Naruto, what are you do? And then all of a sudden, he disappeared. Like, he just, whoop, and then far up in the distance, you would hear a quick, ah, like a scream. And what's happening is Naruto would, sneak up behind them, tap them on the shoulder, and go, hi, guys. And then he did a Rasengan because he's already started practicing with it. It's already been a month, so I'm pretty sure he would just about master the basic Rasengan. And he would put it right on the first one. There's one on his left, one on his right. He's in the middle, and they're hiding. Or first there was in the puddle, and then Naruto would have, kind of stepped on it, and they would bounce out and try to go into the bushes to kind of hide, and then Naruto would go behind them and basically get the Rasengan and put it in one of their back, saying them flying up in the air, and that was the scream that they heard. And with the other one, Naruto would start walking forward, not even look at him, and just bring his arm back and punch him in the face. And then right before he sent them or did that, he put a flying Raijin mark on both their backs. So then he would teleport to one of them, or to the one that he put up in the air with the Rasengan, and he would grab out his sword that he found. And this sword is pretty special because it's able to use every single chakra nature, and I mean every single one of them. Like, if you guys ever watched Ninjago, and if you guys have, you guys know who Kai is. The fire ninja, and he's basically he basically has like Kai's sword in a way where Kai's basically able to put fire into it and use it for kind of fire abilities. If you know what I'm like referencing here. You guys don't know, basically, he's able to use chakra, like implant chakra into the sword and use different moves with it. Like, and it also kind of powers up whichever move. Like with fire, you can kind of spit fire out of it, and with water, same thing. You can spit water. With wind, if he slashes it, it creates a giant slash with wind, and he can do a bunch of different abilities. And for now, I'm only giving him a few basic ones because I'm gonna say he barely found it like a few weeks ago and still trying to figure out, or not found it. He made it a few weeks ago and is trying to still figure out what kind of abilities he can use with it. He'll even be able to use some uh or key type techniques with it. So yeah, and what else? Yeah, and so basically he'll then slash the one that he sent up in the air with the Rasengan. Because remember, in at least for sure in the original Naruto, whenever you use a Rasengan on somebody, they would always spin and get launched. I'm not sure, pretty sure that's not even how it is now. They just get hit. But correct me if I'm wrong. I kind of forgot. But yeah, I just remember that one clip of Jiraiya using the Rasengan on somebody and just spinning them and sending them flying. So I'm gonna say that that happened to that guy. And Naruto again would teleport and slash his throat, killing him, and would then teleport back to the other guy. And at this point, he'll be like, he would have his hands on his face because he's in pain. He just got hit by Naruto really hard in the face, and Naruto would then grab him, and then he would use instant transmission again, and would go back to Kakashi. And Kakashi would be kind of like surprised that Naruto was able to do all this in such a short time, and what's called, he thinks either Naruto's really strong or those people must have been really weak. And Naruto and everybody just looking at Naruto like, what did he just do? And how did he get here so quickly and do all of that? And Tazuna also thinks I was right. He is pretty dangerous. And what's called, Naruto says, all right, we can interrogate him now. And then Naruto would say, Kakashi, that Sharingan of yours is he able to use any sort of genjutsu at all. And what's called, or any strong genjutsu able to make him talk. And Kakashi would say, I have a few, but it'll more than likely tire me out and put me out of commission. And I think you guys are gonna need me as a captain, blah blah blah. And Naruto says, "You make a good point." So we'll just interrogate him the old-fashioned way, and eventually they get him to talk, and he admits that he was sent by someone to kill Tazuna, and that's when they realize it's a B rank mission or A rank mission. I forgot which one it was originally, or like afterwards when they found out. But yeah, so at first Kakashi says out loud or tells them that they should probably go back to the village and cancel the mission. But then he kind of thinks about it, and that's when Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura says that they're pretty sure they can all take it or take this mission. And an example of that is what Naruto just did. And Kakashi thinks about it and goes, "Yeah, I think you guys are right. We'll continue with the mission." And when they start walking forward, Naruto would bump Kakashi again and say, "There's two, or there's someone up ahead." He would also sense two, but right as of right now, only one of them has malice, so he basically only says one for now. And not Kakashi, what the heck? Naruto would all of a sudden send something flying right towards them, and he would yell, "Everybody, duck!" And Kakashi would be in the front, and Kakashi would be ready to like try to either destroy or do something just so it doesn't accidentally hit anybody. But then that's when Naruto just walks right in front, and then catches the sword with one hand, and he squeezes it, which breaks it in half, and go, "This was a pretty dull sword." And then uh, Zabuza would go, "What the? He just broke the sword with one hand. He looks like a little kid. How did he do that?" And Naruto would also say, "This fog is starting to annoy me." And then he would pull out because remember, there's thick fog around them because of Zabuza, and he would pull out a sword, or the sword that he was using earlier, pump some wind chakra into it, and then basically he would have his sword go from the left to the right as fast as possible, kind of making a slash mark. And this would sent a giant wave of wind, which would be strong enough to just completely wipe out all the fog that's right in front of him, revealing Zabuza and almost knocking him out of the tree. Actually, he's barely just like standing on there because of his chakra. But even that, wasn't able to, like, have him stay on for too long. Or no, it helped him stay on, but like, it still made him kind of like almost fall off, basically. And Naruto go, I want to try some new things, and he would say, guys, you guys might want to stand back because I still haven't completely mastered this, but for the most part, it should be safe. Just make sure you're behind me. And everybody will just back up a bit. Even Kakashi and go, what is he doing now? And that's when Naruto would basically like jump up into the air, and everybody would think, why is he jumping up in the air? Or how is he jumping in the air so high? And that's when Naruto starts basically flying, and everybody just looking at him like wide eyes, wide mouth, like everybody, even Zabuza is like, is he flying? And that's when, yeah, he would basically fly around and go, okay. So I basically already got the hang of it, and that's what he would say out loud. And then he would start screaming, Ka me ha, and he would do this for a bit, and so I was like, yeah, guys, you make sure you guys don't get hit by this. It hurts a lot, trust me. I got hit by a small version of this, and it hurt a lot. And um, Naruto would finish it by going, ha, and then of course, he would do the exact same stance and arms behind him, and then bring them up, and this would send out a huge Kamehameha, or I forgot the actual, you know what I'm talking about though. I'm pretty sure there's an actual name for it, but I'm just gonna call it the Kamehameha. Uh, and I think it's the Kamea wave. I kind of forgot there's that. Nah. Either way, he would do a Kamehameha, and this would send out a big, huge beam, hitting the tree that Zabuza was on, and Zabuza, knocking him off the tree. And he would basically, he wouldn't be dead, but he would be like extremely hurt at the point where like there's bruises, there's brown marks all over him from like being burnt basically by it. And he would basically just barely have his eyes open. That's when Haku would come in, sent her little needles, or his, sorry, oh my god, I still can't get over the fact that it's not a she, it's a he. By the way, he would send a all the needles that would hit Zabuza, and because of this, uh, or no, not because of this, Naruto would look at Haku and realize that he like has malice in him. Like he can sense the malice and kind of a bit of hatred for what Naruto had just done. But Zabuza, I not Zabuza, Haku still keeps his cool and pretends like he's, for a Ambu sent from the hidden mist to capture Zabuza. And then he grabs him and runs off, and Naruto at this point just like, who cares? I'm pretty sure they're not gonna want to fight after that again. And yeah, and so Naruto, he isn't tired, but all of them are kind of just like, man, that was exhausting to even watch. How'd you do that, Naruto? And Naruto would say, well, it's a little secret technique, I would say. And Tazuna still tell or ask them if they want to stay at his place, just to rest up a bit and to also help him maybe even guard the bridge. And Naruto would accept this, and or all of them would accept it, and they would all basically go um the to his house, and Kakashi would start training them up a bit, and Naruto would already know chakra control, and Sasuke would know, he would know a good amount of it because again he's been training with Naruto. And um what is it called, uh I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and Sakura. And Sakura would basically already know, because again, she also has been training a little bit with Naruto and Sasuke, mainly because Sasuke was there, and she also started to trust Naruto a lot more because you can see that Sasuke trusts him a lot. And so, yeah. And she already knows the basic chakra control, which Kakashi says, oh, okay, this makes things a little bit easier. Have you guys already learned how to water walk? And Naruto would say yes. Sasuke would go, say, kind of. And Sakura would go, no, I haven't learned that yet. And so Naruto asks, can I go do my own training somewhere private? And Kakashi would say, yes, you can, Naruto. And what's called, and Kakashi would take Sasuke and Sakura over to a lake in order to practice, and Naruto would go into the woods, and he would basically turn on Ultra Instinct, and he would try doing, or try, uh, he would basically, what he would do, he would pick apples from the tree, throw them up in the air, and he would close his eyes, and he would try to dodge every single one of them as quickly as possible. And I mean, he grabbed like a whole bunch of apples and just threw them up in the air, and he would try dodging them. Next, he would get the um the apples, throw them all, like even more apples, throw them all up into the air, and this time he'll try attacking them while dodging at the same time. So he'll try not to get hit, but also just hit them all at the same time as quickly as possible. And this is his starting to develop the actual mastered Ultra Instincts, where he can actually attack, and like his body can attack for him and defense at the same time with his instincts. And so now he's basically just hitting most of the apples and would only miss a few at a time. And every single time they get chopped in half, he'd throw them more up in the air, and this would make more targets until eventually he'd be able to hit every single one of them. And after that, Naruto would get out Ultra Instincts and take a small break. And that's when Haku would, come in the woods. And Naruto can already sense that it's the same chakra he felt earlier, but he isn't alarmed by her or by him, because he can sense that this time there's no malice. And they would start talking, and of course, Haku would talk about protecting his loved ones, and Naruto said, "There's people that I do want to protect. I want to become Hokage," and they start telling dreams, and then Naruto would go, "Okay, well, I have to go now, Haku," and of course, Haku would tell him his name, and yeah, and he would say, "Okay, bye, Naruto," and Naruto would look back and say, "And tell Zabuza I said hi for me," and then he would start, just running back to the house. And Haku would just be sitting there like, wait, he knew that I was the exact same person? Huh. He really is powerful, because Haku was also watching him train from afar because he wanted to know what some of his abilities maybe were. And yeah. And so that's where I'm going to leave out this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know how long this video was, because I actually recorded this in two parts, because the first time I tried recording, but I got interrupted and I couldn't record that day. So then I just had that part, and so now this is the next day I'm recording this part, so I'll just join them together and be one part basically. So it's gonna be, I think, like, yeah, I'm too lazy to do math. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, all that. Um, I might be making, a new video tomorrow. I don't know exactly when I will be making a new video, but when I do, it'll most likely be What If Naruto Went Back in Time Part 5, I think. So yeah, that'll probably be the next video. Once again, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.